Path of Exile 2 is very overwhelming, and not just for ones who've never played the first game. It's a learning curve for everyone. The new classes, the huge skill tree, and just all the information coming at you all at once. I won't get into everything today, but I will tell you about an awesome quarterstaff that will help you get through early game, and it's an absolute beast so far. I don't know how I got so lucky, but that's the beauty of loot drops. It's a unique weapon. It's called the Blood Thorn wrapped quarterstaff, and it's specifically for the monk. It has great stats that make you just run through mini bosses, main bosses, and mobs easily. I remember I was having some problems with that witch and other enemies that just hit hard, the mobs that come at you. And the way that I have this set up where it's a ranged playstyle that allows me to zone enemies, because in games like this and Diablo, there are mobs all the time and they try and swarm you. So this Blood Thorn staff comes in clutch all the time. Just look at the damage. Invader! It's in the category of unique weapons, and these provide fixed modifiers, as you can see on here, the blue wording, and these are specifically crafted to enhance offensive capabilities or enable unique attack and spell mechanics. Unique items are set apart from magic and rare gear, which rely on randomized affixes. Another reason why this is so good, particularly in early game, is due to the quality. This amplifies its damage past the range you see here. So understanding quality is the key to unlocking the true potential of a lot of weapons. Let me just explain this a little bit. Here's what quality does. It increases the base damage of your weapon, meaning the Blood Thorn, its physical damage right here starts at 14 to 26, which is a lot in early game, by the way. But with a plus 20% quality, that gets boosted to 17 to 31. Think of it like this. Quality is the secret sauce that makes every other damage stat on your weapon hit harder. It doesn't touch the added physical damage or special attacks, but by increasing the base damage, it gives your build a stronger foundation for scaling things like bleed damage and other modifiers. So as you see here, it has added physical damage from 5 to 10, and this is a flat bonus that works great early on. Plus 13 in strength, more life and melee physical damage is always a win. And the Thorn's damage from 4 to 9 adds a defensive kick by punishing enemies that attack you. That's insane. So once again, quality boosts the base damage, but with the added physical damage that you see, that stacks on top of it to further increase your hits. So together they give you a solid combination of raw power and scalability, making the Blood Thorn a standout early game weapon. But this is where the weapon really shines, and that's with the bleeding on hit. I did not realize how insane this was. I thought it was going to be like a small tick, but let me explain this and we're going to wrap up this video soon. This is passive damage that ticks over time, dealing physical damage based on the initial hit. What's cool about bleed is that it doesn't just sit there. If your target moves, which they always do, they're going to be chasing after you or retreating, the bleed effect gets amplified, so you'll see it doubling and they'll be hemorrhaging even faster. So picture this. You smack an enemy or enemies with the Blood Thorn inflicting bleed, and suddenly they're taking more damage as they're trying to attack you. It's like a punishment mechanic built right into your attacks. And get this, I'm using Glacial Cascade, where it's a ranged zone attack, and I've noticed that when I use this against certain enemies, it applies bleed on hit from a distance. I could be wrong, but that's what I was looking at. I haven't played with it that long to see every way that it causes bleed. But the beauty of it is the passive damage. You don't need to constantly hit your target. They're taking damage while you're repositioning, dodging, and handling other enemies. It's efficient and it's reliable, and it lets you focus on the bigger picture instead of spamming attacks. Now, I haven't made a build full-fledged yet. I'm just testing things out, seeing how it is early game. And this weapon and this little build that I have going on is getting me through where I need to go in order to get to that level, because early game you don't level up as fast. And when I do make my early game build, I'm going to get more into detail about the skill tree and the path to go in that area, because I am using the monk and there's a specific path that I have my eye on that scales perfectly with the monk's playstyle. So stay tuned for that. And if you're looking for an early game quarterstaff with solid damage, bleed mechanics, and scaling potential, this Blood Thorn is your go-to weapon. Like I said, it's a random drop. You're going to have to get lucky. And that's one thing I love about loot-based games. The RNG can be really bad or it can be really good. And in this case, it was positive. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. If you think there are any other broken weapons, early game weapons that is, then tell me all about it in the comment section so I can go searching for those weapons. Stay tuned for more Path of Exiles 2 videos because I am hooked on this game and I cannot wait to dive deeper into it. I'll see you in the next one, fam. Be right out.